these people have been hiding. Not alone. No, you're not alone. I know, it's crazy. You feel so alone, and then
You're not alone. You're not alone. She keeps saying that, and because that is very important. You're not alone.
He says, I worked directly with Marilyn Manson in 2007 and 2008 for his touring band when Evan Rachel Wood was with him. She was on tour with us the entire time.
These girls and going like, you blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, before I keep going, I just want to say, warning. There's going to be a lot of sexual assault talk and RAPE and sexual violence in general and cutting and drugs and swearing and mention of human trafficking, pornography, suicide, just regular bondage. There's going to be a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to give a warning. I'm just giving you a warning. Obviously, if you're here watching this, or if you watch any of us, you know what you're in for. And what else can you expect? You know, she's the one that put those words out there. So I am just pretty much just repeating. So we're going to talk about the first like 7 to 10 minutes. And we're talking about Dan, whatever his last name is, because it's not even that important. He is important because he's like the male, you know, the one male that she got. They can just out him, and just pretty much talk shit about him. You have the right to not like your boss. You have the right to just have any type of beef. You even have the right to support somebody like Evan. But when he mentions Manson and Lindsay, his current wife, and he goes as slow as mentioning Manson and Lindsay's relationship, I think that was just way too messed up. So I'm gonna try to find that part, and we're gonna listen to it.
While we were on tour, you know, we were on stage together all the time, and I remember that he had a tattoo of Red Sox. It's up for you. It's processing it because I think it's the first time that somebody from the camp that was there, that's not one of the girls, has actually come forward and said something and told people that we weren't lying.
Indiscretions with band members or crew people, that's a code of the road that I'm kind of fine with. But when it comes to physical abuse, emotional abuse, and torture, in a lot of your guys' cases, it's torture. This is an extreme case from what I've seen in my career. Real quick, I also feel guilty because he would involve assistants directly. I'd be in the room with him and Lindsay, and he would make me record the things he would say to her, videotape the things he would say to her, and he would tell her, like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to chop you up, and Dan is going to bury you in the desert. Yeah. He's going to do all this. He's going to put you in the trunk and bury all your parts in the desert.
Okay, you guys heard that. And saw his face. It's like the best way that I can show it to you without getting in trouble. Again, I think it's so low that he mentions Lindsay and some alleged fight in which Manson said to her, oh, well, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to bury you in the desert. I'm not saying that happened or that didn't happen. It has nothing. Shut up, Dan.
Torture in a lot of your guys' cases.
Has nothing to do with the documentary. It has nothing to do with Evan. If he would just stick to the subject, but for some reason he's so low that he has to do that.
From what I've seen in my career,
it's really hard to do this at the same time that I am doing this, but it's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. So, first 10 minutes, Dan going there to the survivors meeting. You know, it's like this room that they're all hanging out, and like I said, Ashley Morgan is there, Ashley Walters is there, Esme Bianco is there, and Esme doesn't open her mouth. Not once. She's a blurred, even. She's blurry. It's really, I mean, if I was her, I'll be pissed off. Anyway, so he showed up to give her support. I understand that he didn't have to mention Lindsay. I thought that was pretty shady. I already said that. Let me see what else I can get from him. Little pieces, bit and pieces. But he was pretty much kissing their butt over and over. Okay, this is another the second part I wanted to touch in what I think is the most important thing that I get from it is how bizarre, disturbed, and just strange her relationship with her parents are, especially her dad. And if I didn't know any better, I would say that her dad, is a narcissist. She's in the documentary, in the movie, saying, "Well, I gave my dad the phone number of the mental hospital that I was in, and he didn't call." Things like that. They seem to be really in point right now of defending her now that they're in a movie. And remember, these two people are actors, mom and dad. They're actors. So I don't want to be evil like that and say I am a mom. But also, I would never send my daughter, and 15 years old, alone to Hollywood. We're like in North Carolina, like she was, middle of the South. This is a different set of morals. It's a different it's a different thing altogether. Morals or not, just the slow pace. And her mom totally pamper out. If I'm mad at anybody, it will be at her mom. And sent her to LA when she was only 15 years old, having her own apartment. It reminded me of Lindsay Lohan. They did that with Lindsay Lohan, with Britney Spears, alone. At that age, you're like, dude, like, you're gonna do, like, whatever comes to you, because you want to be cool, you want to be part of the scene. So yeah, older boyfriend, check. Drugs, check. I still think to this day the part of a lot of the things that she was doing with Manson were to piss off her mom and her dad. And this part that I'm gonna play next shows you that this documentary, to me, is a big family session, therapy session. There's a lot of problems in that family. There's a lot of things they have to resolve, and a lot of things they have to talk about. So I'm gonna just like show you a little bit of a Evan saying, "Well, I kind of feel sad that my dad didn't call to the mental hospital that I was on." And I'm not making fun of that. I'm not making fun of anybody who's in a mental hospital. I'm not making fun of anybody who has this type of parents. And again, like I said in my last video, if anybody abused her psychologically, I think it's them. And I'm just gonna show you what is my opinion and why I believe that to be the truth.
I was a little sad that he didn't come and visit me, honestly. And that's what sometimes makes my relationship with my dad hard, but it is what it is. I hope you know I still call parents for who they are. And I just know that they both tried, and I think they both genuinely love me. I really love both of my parents for who they are. And I just know that they both tried, and I think they both genuinely love me.
What's going on with my video of her? My gosh. Sorry, you guys. I am trying my best.
On the East Coast, and he was on the East Coast, and I just needed somebody to get to me right away because I was really scared. I was really scared to be alone. I just knew I couldn't be alone. And so I called him, and I, again, don't ask my dad for much because it's too heartbreaking when you don't get it. But I reached out and I said, I'm really scared. I'm really scared. I think I might try to kill myself. I need you to come here right now. And he said, I'm doing a play right now. And I've got this friend in New York. They're great. Let me give you their number. And I was like, mean when you don't get it. But I reached out and I said, I'm really scared. I'm really scared. I think I might try to kill myself. I need you to come.
Do you get that? You get what the problem is. One of the problems that she has, in my opinion, I think that's when she started developing a personality. Like, she really doesn't know who the fuck she is, and I'm going to blame Hollywood for that. Mom, dad, brother, the probably favorite, the little brother, like he's usually like that. In my opinion, is what I think, what I believe, that she has this really damaged relationship with her dad, and that's gonna make her see all men, as selfish and just abusive or whatever. The dad doesn't seem abusive. He's not even raising his voice in the movie, but you get the sense that he didn't give a fuck, and he still doesn't. Maybe he does only because he's in a movie and he's an actor. Remember? So I wanted to play that because if anything makes me sad, it's like just insanity that the guy is like, well, I'm doing a play. So I don't know how smart it was from Ilma and Evan and Amy Bird, the director of this movie, to include all this family drama, because it kind of takes away the Manson and the Phoenix act and all that. But okay, it's part of the person's part of the life. But it really seems like she had issues with dad, and hence you're gonna have issues with men, and I know that, and that's just obvious psychology. But the thing, and that's just life. Again, I don't know if her parents got paid to be in the documentary. Again, they're both actors. They seem to like the attention. The mom seems very passive. The stepmom is there for like a second. The mom seems like, oh well, we're gonna talk to your dad, and your dad was busy. And then the dad saying, well, I was in a play, so I couldn't go to New York, but here's a phone number of a therapist that I know, and they're very good, just call them. And Evan say, no, I need you to come over. And that's really, like, if it wasn't her, I'll be heartbroken. But it's her. So when you have that type of issues, I believe that was worth those 20 minutes of the movie when they were talking. Make a movie like that about your relationship with your dad and with men that you're going to have for the rest of your life, and how that can put you in an abusive situation. That would be actually a good documentary that I will watch. But sadly enough, she got to throw it right under the bus. And yeah, let's see what we got next.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea how mad I was at you and Mom.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
I met an implant this other one. You were the one that my identity. And implant this other one. You were the one that my identity. It was until I started to reach the strength to see the abuse in my relationship and to want to leave. And I didn't put that together until later. I was hurt and angry. I found my journals from right before I met him.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea how mad and I was hurt and angry. I had no and Mom.
Oh, yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
I was hurt and angry. I found my journals from I was hurt and angry.
And it was such a relief, and we thought she was out and everything was good, and my phone started ringing, and it rang and rang and rang, and then hang up, and they call again and ring and ring and ring, and finally,
You need to get a restraining order. And I said, absolutely. That was around the time that he tied me up and tortured me. Suddenly thinking that the drugs were a lot stronger than the pills were. so I was always pretty out of it. And, I didn't know what meth was. I wanted me to be there. Turned, and I remember suddenly thinking that the drugs were a lot. And he really started breaking me down. Freezing cold temperature. Like, oh, it's a commentary on the Nazi. Just wall and had him turned. And I didn't know what meth was. Turned, and I remember suddenly thinking that the drugs were a lot stronger than turned, and I got isolated in the house. Ramirez or Jordy White has known Brian for decades. They really formed the band Marilyn Manson together. And when Twiggy got back in the band, Manson completely changed. Like overnight.
Okay, so now we're up to freaking blood with Twiggy. It's almost like she's saying that because Twiggy got back in the band. I remember exactly when that happened. She's trying to say that Manson had the need to just act more macho like and not so lovesick and not so romantic because Twiggy was in the band. So he had to portray this image to Twiggy. I found that really hard to believe because those two, we know by a lot of interviews and stuff that they call themselves brothers and they're being together as friends and brothers and band members since the beginning. So I find it hard to believe that Manson had to put up a show in front of Twiggy. So I think that's another lie or another exaggeration that she's just going on. And maybe a couple times Manson say something, weird of the sorts of like, oh yeah, I'm not lovesick anymore. I'm still a party boy, whatever the fuck it was. And Evan is making it into an Evan thing. So the fact that she's throwing Twiggy Ramirez into it, I hope that Twiggy like comes out and say something about this. She's not really in the documentary saying Twiggy's a bad person, Twiggy's a drug addict, Twiggy's an abuser. She's not saying that. But it's almost like she's saying, well, Manson had to act more abusive towards me because Twiggy was there. The mental gymnastics that she had to go through in order to get to that, allegedly, is just ridiculous. You see how sci-fi, this is pure science fiction at this.
What?
So who was like,
Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Did you say me or you? What'd you say? Answer me, for fuck's sake, or I'll kill you.
What is supposed to be? And look at his boot is there.
Couldn't wait to get home to tell my boyfriend who I had been and an elbow, and I flew. Our relationship. worked and that I'm on your side. So I went back.
Hey, Esme. How's things with Manson?
Me and Dita and Brian, and then in a tiny little blurb in the corner, they mention Brian's terrible temper and the fact that he would throw things and break things. But that's not what the article is about. That's when I felt like I went from an A-list actress to trashy. Me and Dita and Brian. And then in a tiny little and pain rituals. The wrestler.
I really need to.
Me and Dita and Brian, and then the phone stopped ringing. And I'm thinking that my boyfriend is going to come to my defense. And the phone stopped ringing. And I'm thinking, and if any
Projecting much. That's what you guys did to him. This woman is amazing. This is the only way I can do this with you guys. So I'm gonna make some tea, and then we're gonna keep watching and reacting. And I'm telling you, I watched it already 3 times, so I'm kind of like sedated to it and completely, numb to the bullshit. But the first time, it was hard to keep my hands still. I was going through all these emotions of like, I was mad, I was sad. In a moment, I was kind of sad about her parents and her. I wrote me the wrong way. But then I was numb, and then she takes you to this thing because she's not just for an hour and a half crying. She cries, she laughs, she cracks up, she makes jokes, she cries again. She's very good at this. There's just an up and down. It's a very good movie, but it's a piece of fiction, the way I see it. And her parents, they're talking, knowing that her parents are actors and maybe they got paid to be in the movie, doesn't prove anything to me. To close this video, I can tell you that this is only the first part. I was waiting for more videos, homemade videos, or messages, or text messages, or emails from him, or something. Like Amber Heard got from Johnny, stuff like that. Nothing. Just that little home video. Nothing else. It's so telling that she, on that little part, said, I was pissed off. With other words, she's saying, I was pissed off because I went from A-list to trashy. And I think that's what this whole thing is about. I really think so. I'm going to make some tea and then I'm going to keep going.
Trashy. People started calling me a whore and a homewrecker. This is when I was about 19 and he was 37.
And that wasn't just the media either. Her publicist on the phone with me, and the first thing she says is, "What the hell?"
I would get phone calls from my agents, from friends, from my parents, and they were getting their news from Perez Hilton, and then the phone stopped ringing. And I'm thinking that my boyfriend is going to come to my defense, and he's not. He didn't care about my reputation, and if anything, I think it delighted him to see my reputation getting
It's
destroyed.
all about her reputation. That's been our point.
This is when he started isolating me from my friends and family. And when the monitoring started, Manson had hacked into my emails. He was watching me, and he had people watching me. Again, under the guise of, this is for your own good.
Anyone who hopped on his Wi-Fi, he had your information and was able to, I think, clone phones or laptops or something.
I've seen him, hacking, doing massive amounts of drugs and pain rituals.
Pain rituals.
And that's when I did The Wrestler.
I really need to talk to you.
So I left to go do The Wrestler for 2 weeks.
Okay, I'm going to do that in part 2 because it's kind of interesting that she mentions The Wrestler, which allegedly she had an affair with Mickey Rourke. Allegedly. So all this is my opinion only, of the movie Phoenix Rising Part 2. And I'm gonna stop right here because I don't want to make like a long video. The next one is gonna be on the second part. So now we went over her parents and that drama situation that is very, very sad. And then we went over the beginning of her being with Manson and how she felt that she was being mistreated like a whore and not like a A-list actress, and he didn't do nothing about it. And she, is embarrassed by being with him, and that's what I'm getting from it until now. It's really hard not to get mad and also not to laugh and also not to feel a little bit sorry and a little bit bad, because this is a person who has, like I said, no personality. And whoever put these ideas on her head, or she put them herself in her head, because she says she represses memories, but then, when you get those memories back, they can be fake memories and all that. I don't think there's no proof actually of that. And also the way people feel with those repressed memories that they come back, they're usually about childhood. So if anything, I keep saying that the psychological abuse happened from her parents. That's my theory, and that's what I think, and that's what I believe. My opinion. All right, I'm gonna be back with more. That was only like the first 15 minutes. It's really bizarre. So thank you if you got to watch this. I'm sorry it's really messy. It's the only way I can do it without getting in serious trouble. So thank you.